makes me so giddy to live in a world of castles, carriages, and horses. I love a good slow burn. The right amount of tension with the right amount of a breath. Okay, and then back to attention. I do have feelings for this person. And what the heck, we're married. Like, maybe I should just kiss him?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Heart in Motion podcast. I'm so excited to welcome Ryann Bailey to the podcast. How are you doing, Ryann?
So good. How are you?
I'm thrilled to be talking to you. I know we've been trying to coordinate and you've got lots of things going on right now. So I'm so appreciative for you taking the time to talk about, we're going to be talking about Seeking Persephone today. This project has been out. I mean, it continues to reach more platforms, but it has been out for over 3 months now. And just from what I'm seeing, it's more popular now than it was even early on.
Yeah, it's absolutely blown my mind. I think the whole production team, we're all like, oh my gosh, this is bigger. I mean, we hoped for something like this, but this is bigger than I think we could have could have hoped for, truly.
Yeah. For those of you watching and listening, I was sharing with Ryann before we hit the record button that I was able to interview Jake Stormoen, who plays the Duke in Seeking Persephone, back in April when it first came out on Amazon Prime and Fandango. And
Mhm.
that interview has, in the last month, it's had more views than the first 2 months put together, and by far is more popular than any interview that I've ever done by a lot. And
That's
there's just, it's, I think what's happening, Ryann, is people love it so much that they're wanting more. And we'll talk a little bit about that, that they're like, what else is out there that's going to keep me, learning more and being in,
Mhm.
enjoying this project. So,
Yeah, yeah, and I even see that on like my social medias and different stuff. People are like, just so eager to know anything, and I forget that. I don't know, in my head, it's still just like this sweet little independent thing that we've been
yeah.
working on for years, and so it's a lovely reminder to be like, oh, I should post this BTS even though I posted this like a year ago. There's a lot of new people here who would appreciate seeing this. It's been wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for those that found you by watching Seeking Persephone, tell me a little bit about your acting journey that brought you to Seeking Persephone.
Oh, it's a little nostalgic. I was super shy as a kid, painfully so. Like I couldn't talk to anyone. And so my mom was like, "We're gonna get this girl in theater." And one of the first shows I ever did was the Aristocats. And I was one of the geese that has to waddle around. And I was so shy, and I had this epiphany where I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm not Ryann right now. I can be Amelia, the goose. I can like shake my little booty on stage and not be embarrassed." It was such like a paradigm shift for me, a belief in myself that I could be someone else. And from then on, I think it kind of helped me build this confidence for just play and fun. And now I'm an adult and I'm doing it because I still like to play make believe. And um, I think it's just this joy and this love for it that started with theater, with Shakespeare, with improv. I was such a nerd in high school. Like I was doing improv shows, I was competing in Shakespeare competitions, you name it. I was there. Um, and after college, I was like, I miss acting. That filled a cup. That filled this like it just made me feel so much joy, and so I decided to do it again. And 3 years later, I'm here. I'm acting full time, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
Wow. So, what is it about Seeking Persephone that drew you to that project?
Well, it's with a lot of people I really admire. I I love living in different worlds. I think just that make believe aspect I was just talking about. It makes me so giddy to live in a world of castles and carriages and horses and like standing differently and talking differently. And um, I think anything that isn't set in modern day, like right now, I'm so all over. Anything fantasy, anything sci-fi, anything back in time. I'll do a modern day piece. Don't get me wrong, I love those too. But just like being able to pretend I exist somewhere else for a while, it's magical.
Now, you did Sheriff of Savage Wells with this group as well. Did you do that one before or after Seeking Persephone?
That was after.
Okay.
I'm a very lucky person. Yeah, it was after, and John, the director of Seeking Persephone, approached me last year at the beginning of last year and was like, "Hey, Sarah and I are planning on trying to make this happen. We think we have some like a production company attached to it, some funding." And I was reading this book, and I just kept picturing you. Um, and we had to just end up convincing the production company that I could be, I don't know, tough enough and
Yeah. You pulled it off really well. Yeah.
oh, you're so kind. It was a fun one. It was a challenge for sure.
The whole being a sheriff, shooting the gun, all of that, you made us believe it. So,
That's so kind of you to say. I spent a long time with a little prop gun just swinging it around my finger, trying to get it down so that I could, like,
yeah.
like actually
Yeah.
look like I knew how to use it.
So you get the project Seeking Persephone. You first read the script. What's your first impression of Persephone?
Oh, goodness. So I actually read the book before I read the script.
Okay.
John, the really, really quick backstory on how I got this part, because I know a lot of people are wondering how that happened. I was working on this fantasy film with a lot of lifelong friends I still have now called Mythica Stormbound, and it was one
Got
of
it.
the first films I ever did. And Jake
And
was
Jake
directing it
directed
actually.
that one, right? Okay.
That. And John, who is our Seeking Persephone director, helped edit the film. And so he was looking at my face a lot in this edit and going, wait a second, I think she might fit this role. So he ended up reaching out and saying, "Hey, have you ever read Seeking Persephone by Sarah M. Eden?" And I was like, "No, but I love reading. I'm an avid consumer of books, and so I immediately purchased it and read it and fell in love with the world and the characters, and so I read the whole book before I auditioned. Um, and I think she resonated with me so quickly because she is the oldest daughter. She feels very responsible for everyone else's feelings and their happiness, and she holds it on her shoulders. And even though I don't have nearly as many hardships as she did, I resonated with that a lot,
Yeah.
feeling this burden of I need to be perfect. I need to be a good example. I need to make sure I'm accounting for everyone else's happiness before my own. And so her journey of discovering that and how to make herself happy is something that I actively felt in my life.
Wow. Wow. So you read the book and you've got the script. What part then? So you find a lot of yourself in her. Looking back now, what do you think was the biggest challenge in bringing Persephone to the whole story?
Oh, I feel like I probably read the book about 4 times before we actually started filming. So she felt very natural. She felt like she was a part of me by the time we'd started, like a sister or someone I knew really well. And a lot of me is her. And so like I dial up parts of myself to become Persephone, but it felt very natural.
Yeah.
Felt like putting on a shoe that just fits. The
Yeah.
insoles at work.
Yeah.
I think the most difficult part was probably the year-long break we had between filming our portion in Utah and our portion in England. And that's because it was an independent film. And so we had to get funding, we had to get investors. It was a pretty big ordeal that
Yeah.
this little team took on. And I think the biggest challenge was matching scenes that we filmed a year ago on a soundstage to now we're walking down a hallway in England and I just did this scene in the bedroom that was a year before and I'm like reorienting myself being like, okay, I need to put myself back in that place where I was. Yeah, I think that was the biggest
I
challenge.
forgot about that. I don't know that I knew it was a year apart, but I do remember Jake saying that there was a little bit of a time gap. That had to be tricky and difficult to get back into that groove a bit.
I feel very lucky to have been so supported in that. Like we would talk through the scene and be like, okay, what if like the scene we're at right now, we filmed this one and this one, it's sandwiched between them. Let's bridge that. And we would talk it over. Sarah would be there. Like it was very, very helpful. And I felt supported in that. It still was a challenge.
Okay, so Jake directed you in Mythica. We talked a little bit about that. So, how did having that existing relationship with Jake help build that chemistry between Adam and Persephone?
It was really, honestly, a very lovely thing to have a friendship existing there already, and kind of a repertoire, and like we had a lovely like working relationship
Yeah.
of professional but still like funny and goofing off, and um, I feel like it was a we lived pretty close together at the time. We don't anymore, unfortunately, but it was really awesome to be like, okay, we have a lot of scenes. Like basically, the whole movie is just us
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
So we would have occasional meetings where we'd go over the script, and we wouldn't like rehearse it outright, but just to hear each other say the words and like orient ourselves in these characters, and to be like, okay, now I can trust you completely throughout this like filming. There was no fear. There was no. It was a very solid like professional relationship. Always, it was really lovely.
I've talked to so many actors who have said that that chemistry so often comes from that you trust that person so much that it allows you to be more vulnerable. And I just hear so many times chemistry and vulnerability and trust always together when we're talking about that type of a romance.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about. You hit that right on the head.
That's what
That's
they
it.
tell me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So I feel very fortunate that we had like that trust where it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just fall into this and you're gonna catch me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan and I talked a little bit before we hit the record button that because Jake's interview has done so well, there's so many people out there that want to just keep talking about Seeking Persephone. So we thought that it would be cool to bring some themes and some comments that people have shared that, and it's like these are not just like one-off comments, but this is what people continue to say. There's a lot. I pulled the comments where it's the repeat comments. And one of the things that audience keeps talking about is how naturally Adam and Persephone's relationship develops. And Jake termed it that slow burn. We know about the slow burn in a romance. And this audience finds the slow burn what they love about watching it over. And they're watching it over and over and over again. And some of them are a little embarrassed about how often, how many times they're watching it. I think I've seen it like 4 times myself.
Oh my gosh.
But they find that the slow burn, they want to keep watching it because they find new things every time they watch it. And the slow burn is just the right amount of pace. So why do you think that that this particular slow burn romance, because I've seen some that I was like, get on with it already, has resonated with this audience so much?
Wow, that is such a good question. I feel like that is such a testament to Sarah's writing as well, and John's ability to storytell through film. Because sometimes, as we've seen, you can have an incredible book and it just doesn't translate
Yeah.
onto the screen. And I feel like because we had such a tight knit of people who were so passionate about telling this story that they spent so long working on like making sure that the screenplay was as accurate to the book as possible while needing to take out scenes or else we would have a 7 hour movie. At the time it was a movie and now it is a miniseries, so I suppose we could have done all the scenes had we had the
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah.
um, but I think it truly is a testament to the team that worked on this and that made this happen, and that they created such a lovely environment to explore in and to
Mhm.
feel
Mhm.
safe in exploring. And I think I love a good slow burn, and we all do because of that tension. And I think the right amount of tension with the right amount of a breath, okay, and then back to attention, and oh, they missed that connection. I think it's just that tricky balance, like you said. It's hard to put your finger on it, but it's that kind of correct amount
Yeah.
of
Oh, yeah.
tension and then a break and then tension and then break and
You can tell that this team, just from, the different things that people have said through interviews, that there were no egos, that this was about everybody bringing their best work, and that collaboration, I do really think translated into that final story that made it to us,
yeah.
which is obviously very popular for people. There's such an unusual number of people rewatching this. Um, this person said, um, there are only a handful of movies that get richer with each watch, parentheses, Pride and Prejudice being one of them. I think it's pretty amazing if your project is being compared to Pride and Prejudice, right? And this
Love
series hits the same. One fan even joked that they've watched it so many times, it's criminal.
I I'm a little speechless, and it's I don't even know if I have anything to add to that. It's more just like what an honor to be a part of something that
Yeah.
people consider rewatchable, you know?
Well, and aside even from the slow burn, another thing that really keeps coming up in all of the comments is these just subtle facial expressions, the body language. This person said it gets better each time. One that they pointed out is Adam avoiding sitting on Persephone's left so that she wouldn't see his scarred face. And those are some of the things that I think people, as they rewatch, they're online going, "Oh, I just noticed he wouldn't
Yeah.
sit. He had to move to the other side." So, as an actor, what's going through your mind in scenes like that where it's not necessarily what you say, but those little subtleties that you need to communicate?
Ooh. Okay, so I feel like what's so lovely about this is that we got to read the book where we heard all their internal dialogue that's
Mhm.
not spoken on
Yeah.
screen. So I feel like I knew exactly what was going on in Persephone's mind because it was literally written there. And Jake knew the story well enough too. He knew the Duke well enough to be like, oh yes, and of course we talked through the scene, and I will not sit on this side of you. And I go, of course you wouldn't, like,
Wow.
but I'm gonna be confused about it as Persephone. And so I feel like it was just lovely to have just a bunch of book nerds talking through this and making sure everything fit the characters.
That's such a good point. Like that, and I know Sarah, I got to talk with Sarah also in an interview, and she shared, how difficult it was to pare down a book and turn it into a movie. But
Yeah.
having that book to be able to refer back to, yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, but you're right. That would be a great way to be able to go, okay, I can't say it, but I can do this. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah, when
so
I would be,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, not
No,
to
you go.
interrupt. It just made me think of when we would be on site, like I'd go home the night before I knew what scenes I was doing the next day. I would look through my script and be like, okay, and then I'd go to the book that I had brought with me and be able to read those scenes and all the things that like, that we had to pare down, but that I could bring at least internally. And it was so helpful. It was like having a
Yeah.
guideline. It was having an instruction book on this
Yeah.
character.
That's amazing. Wow. Subtext, another one. I heard repeatedly people talking about all of the things that were said but really meant something else. Example, when Persephone is talking to John about the horse,
Right.
but she's also talking about Adam. What was it like when you would have those little bit of those little moments where you were actually, okay, we're saying this, but this is what we really mean.
Mm-hmm. I think it's always fun when people say things and mean something else. I think subtext is like one of the more fun things to do on screen, especially when executed well.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like what was helpful, I mean, having wonderful actors to work with is always helpful. Um, and I feel like having team players where like sometimes you could have an actor who needs to be off screen for something for our eyeline to look at, and they'll just have be like a mark of like, look at that tree and that's him.
Yeah.
But for this one, they actually would be there because John's such a quick, he's very efficient with his shooting, with his scenes. And so to have Jake and Toby there on horses while we're talking about horses, but actually about someone who's been hurt, it's like it was very helpful to have them be like, oh, there they are. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Make that connection, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Toby. Toby plays Harry, and there, I know you shared, I mean, so many of the scenes in this series is between Persephone and Adam, but the secondary characters, Harry, the children, those moments with you and them were so many people are talking about them. What was it like developing, those relationships with? the kids and with Harry or Toby in this case.
It was so fun. It was true. Like, what a dream. It truly is a dream come true to be like, okay, here we are. We're finally getting to meet these characters that now, like, we've only met over Zoom and now we're here in person. And I feel like it felt right out the gate very natural.
Yeah.
Catherine, who plays my younger sister, we were able to like uh, kind of go out a couple times together and just chat. And um, one of the lovelier moments I think of on our set was we wrapped in time while the sun was still up at Auckland Palace, and there's this beautiful little hiking trail that we, as a cast, just took up. So Will Kemp, who plays my father, was there. We had Toby with Catherine. We had Jake, and we all walked up this trail, and there was this like beautiful meadow filled with sheep and old ruins. I'm like, where are we right now? This is gorgeous. This is crazy. And I feel like we just had a lot of lovely little bonding moments like that where it's like, oh man, I just love these people. And it made it very easy to connect with them when we're in a scene and I'm looking them right in the eyes. And looking people directly in the eyes for a long period of time can be quite vulnerable. And like our natural instinct is to look away, but you don't do that on camera. Like you want to keep that connection. And so I feel like um, I heard it recently explained to me like working on a film is like dog years, where if you've spent a month working with people um, on a film, it feels like a year or two that you've known them because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just you spend 12 hours a day with them just like locked in.
yeah,
And so, of
yeah,
course, you're going to feel like instantly connected to this person.
yeah.
So, working with them was lovely. Toby's a gem. Uh, we would goof off quite a bit, and the lovely actresses who played my sisters was just like it did feel a bit like a family in that Lancaster home where we're running around um, uh, and having them be there in that scene where they leave in the carriage. True, it was so easy to get there,
Yeah.
to feel like my heart was leaving my body as they're going. Yeah, it was yeah a
I'm so
dream.
glad you brought that scene up. I had it in my notes. Every time I watch that scene, I'm just like, oh my goodness. You see how heartbroken she is, but how she has to keep it together. And then you see Adam, who is, I believe, starting to realize what he's just done. And
Uh-huh.
now what is he going to do? And was it Artemis that was the little one?
Yeah,
Oh my
Artemis.
goodness, that little girl. Wow, that scene.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. It was a heart wrenching scene, and a fun fact about that scene is a lot of people who you didn't see on screen were crying. Like we had several like wonderful background artists there who play our footman and our maid, and one of our footmen was opening the door for these sisters to get in the coach, and he's standing there, and you don't even see his face. You just see like torso down as I'm kneeling with Artemis. Um, and we uh, cut. We've done a take, and we cut, and we look up, and he's just
Oh,
weeping. He's like, "I'm sorry."
yeah.
And I feel like it's because everyone was so in it. It's
Yeah.
it's so easy to feel these feelings when you're surrounded by these looming castle walls, and you this little girl that you have just come to adore is standing there with you, and you're just looking in her eyes, and it just I feel like that's what every actor dreams of doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely one of those. I mean, still going back and watching it, it's kind of like now when I watch it, I brace myself for it because I know this is getting ready to happen. But it was
It's gonna be
such a,
painful.
and I think one other thing that I love about Seeking Persephone is you have those very serious moments, but then you do have those lighthearted moments. I think Harry comes in to bring the comic relief quite a bit.
He
Something that
does.
resonated, that scene where they both yell at Harry, "Shut up, Harry," that moment was such a fun moment that people keep talking about. I think it even gave us an opportunity to really get us excited for what if we have a number two and we get Harry's story and Athena's story. So
Yeah.
that scene in people that were watching it in their mind really highlighted a turning point for Adam, even in that funny moment and the interchange where he's like, okay, Persephone and I are a team now, and we're going to come at Harry. Do you think that that's, was that just supposed to be a lighthearted moment, but because it felt like, oh, they're a team now?
Yeah, bonded through a common enemy. Absolutely. Um, I, yeah, Harry did that for them, and I'm so grateful for him for making that sacrifice. I think that's one of my favorite lines in the whole
Yeah,
show. Um, Most of my favorite lines are when Persephone is either like saying "Shut up, Harry," or like making fun of Adam, like "I
yeah,
do not get about," like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
stuff like that where it's just I know it's a drama and it's a romance, but it sprinkles that humor in there. Harry did such a wonderful job helping us out with that too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I just talked around your question, but
No,
that's
you nailed it. And it really brought to mind, even we talked about the comic relief with Harry. But I do think that that's what gets us rooting for Persephone also is that she quickly finds out with Adam when the marriage happens that he's, got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. But
mm-hmm.
she's not cowing down to that. And she's just strong-willed enough that we get a little bit of that humor from her as well.
A sprinkle of strong will, I feel
Yeah.
like. And I think we see it more and more as their relationship develops, and even on into the later books where we see, okay, this is who Persephone truly is when she's not terrified and lonely and sad
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
going through it. It was really fun to have those moments of the clouds breaking and her humor, her wit being able to come through.
So there may be people listening to this interview that actually haven't seen Seeking Persephone. Is there a
Ooh.
scene that you would be especially excited for them to see?
Oh my gosh. Um, that that's a hard question.
There's so many, right? How about I go this way then? Was there
Okay.
one that you were especially excited to film?
Yes. I This is gonna sound crazy, but I love fake blood and dirt. And it's like it's a happy day on set for me if I can be covered in dirt and blood. Um I love horror. I love fun horror movies. I think it's so fun. And so I was so excited for the wolves.
I love it.
um, and it, specifically the scene where they help her with her wounds, and seeing how gnarly some of those wounds
Yeah.
end up looking, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't realize it was that bad. I think that sounds really gnarly. That it's my favorite scene, but it is. It's one of my favorite parts to be like, yeah, put more blood on it. How much can we get away with?
Aside from the blood and the gore, though, it really is a pivotal moment in their story where it's like he has to take care of her now. She has to be, this vulnerability. It was a big turning point. So
It
it's
was.
okay that there was also the blood and the gore.
It prevents a really lovely acting moment to have all of these things in the way and to still be like through these trials and tribulation, this is the person that I want by my side. This is the person I realize now I can rely on,
Yeah,
and I think that
yeah,
it really was a pivotal moment for their
yeah.
characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gave you an opportunity. I mean, it was pretty intense too. So, you know, another favorite scene for many people in the comments was when Adam, who was so used to Persephone coming into his room, when he goes to her room, they love the humor, they love the little noises the back and forth, and the genuine connection that happened. This person said, and this was their quote, and they quoted from the story as well. Oh, you've ruined the room for me, and talks about the noises she makes, Persephone, and her reaction to that. It was just endearing. There was humor and compassion and acceptance. The walls were down and real connection in the conversation that followed in the bed. So him coming in, but then also that moment where they're just there having those conversations. It's got to be fun for you to hear those moments that are resonating with the audience.
It really is, because in the moment when we're filming, it's awesome, and it's all like you said, all those words. It feels like it's genuine and connected and funny, and we cut and just giggle about like the ridiculous things happening in these characters with everything we've set up so far, and now they're here and they're going, I make noises. Um, Thank you for bringing it up because that is also one of my favorite scenes. It was one of my favorites to film. It just felt so fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so lovely to hear that that resonates and that comes across because it can be so fun to film, but people might not pick up on it or might not read well, or I don't know, maybe the edit didn't work. And I feel like it's like catching lightning in a bottle with this,
Yeah.
where it's like it felt great to film and it's great to watch.
That conversation with them chatting leads to them kind of forming this alliance where they're going to um what would be the word where there's a neighbor and you can help me with that one, but it leads to a little bit of fun when Persephone's brother is able to come visit and
Yeah.
carries into that conversation. That is honestly one of my favorite scenes is when Adam and her brother are having this back and forth, and Persephone's just kind of caught off guard. First of all, that Adam is that casual, but that
Yeah.
Adam and the brother are already making this connection.
Yeah. And I think that's like, yeah, like you said, a surprise. He's opening up in a way I think she never expected. And I feel like that giggly conversation in the bed where she, I think, very vulnerably asks if he regrets marrying her.
Mm.
That's such a heart wrenching thing to think about. Like, she's here and she's lonely and she doesn't know what the heck is going on. And I think it was really, really fun to just, it was a lot of dialogue to memorize too. That's what I think the biggest challenge of that scene was just like
Yeah.
this monologue of the experience that she had at this tea party and how people were like, bought brides and all that stuff. And I think it was lovely to have them meet in the middle of like, oh, Persephone can fight back.
Yeah.
She can. She there's the oldest sister. That would come out and do anything for her family. And he sees that in her, and then she sees this lovely vulnerable goofiness in him that probably hasn't come out since childhood.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like it's really lovely to see that and go, oh, maybe they are a good match. You know,
Yeah.
they can siege a castle together. Of
Of course they can.
course they
Um,
can.
and then obviously another big moment that people are talking about is when Persephone, like we have the little shocking kiss from Adam, but then when Persephone returns, when she reciprocates the kiss. So what's going on in Persephone's mind in that moment other than I want to kiss you? Like the why did you know what I mean? Because it's like it's she's communicating something in that moment as well. Because there's still some
I think,
uncertainty between the two of them.
oh, absolutely. And I think that's such a great question about the characters because they've already had this moment of, oh, I think we like really like each other,
Yeah.
but then the walls are back up, that tension is back, right? And I think her falling off the horse and Adam being so attentive and caring, and she's going, okay, I think I can make this leap, because I do have feelings for this person, and what the heck, we're married, like maybe I should just kiss him, because she likes, when he's holding her up, and
Yeah.
I think for the first time she's feeling supported by someone when it's been her doing the supporting for most of her life.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's a lot of mixed emotions, and I think for the Duke as well, with his vulnerability and like his scars, literally and hypothetically. But
So is
yeah,
he pulling away because she touches his face? Is that why? Okay. That's what I figured, but
yeah, his scars, and nobody touches his
he's
scars,
not there yet.
at least
He's
not
not
yet.
there yet. So some themes that people that sometimes I have to use the AI because I'm like, there's 417 comments here. Tell me what are the, yes, 417 comments
Wow,
just on his interview alone. And
that's
these were some of the big themes. And that was being able to put out a quality period drama romance that checks off all of the boxes, but is still clean and wholesome. There was somebody that said, I'm weary of shows that I cannot watch because they are inappropriate, and love doesn't have to be raunchy.
crazy.
So,
Yeah,
Um, you guys set out to make this project, and I'm assuming because it's Sarah M. Eden's stories that it is, we're going to make this and we're going to make a good quality movie, but it's
Mhm.
still going to stay in that vein of what Sarah writes.
Absolutely. I think that's it exactly, is wanting to stay true to the genre and what the built-in fan base of Sarah Eden's work already, that and what they have come to, I think, appreciate and expect about Sarah's work, is knowing that they can read anything with anyone, their children with anyone, and that it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a great story. It's going to be characters they love, and there's not going to be any worry of like, oh, gotta skip this scene because I'm reading with my 8-year-old
Yeah.
kid or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just amazing that it's such a good love story, but anybody can watch it. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
that that's why people are showing up because they can sit down
Yeah.
with their kids, they can sit down with their grandma and watch the story. And it just goes to show you can write a good love story and it doesn't have to have all of the stuff. So,
You absolutely can. And I think, yeah, this is
yeah.
proof of that. Like, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't want to watch, like with my grandparents or something. Yeah. So I think it is resonating in that way because there's a bit of a lapse in media where I think just most things are geared towards a certain um what is the word, like, audience,
Yes.
uh, like
Yeah.
adults,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot that bridges the gap of like everybody could
Yeah.
watch this.
Yeah. Okay, another big one is everybody is demanding a sequel in the nicest possible way.
And then
I appreciate Jake went on and did a live the other day. I don't know, those of you that are watching or listening, I don't know if he posted it or, and I'm sure there'll be more because Jake is such, has been so open and transparent for the audience because, like you, Ryan, everybody is just loving the reaction from the audience. But he did a really good job of explaining, like you said, this is an independent project. You put it out on Amazon, it makes pennies when you're putting it on those types of platforms, but everybody is demanding that number two. This person said, we need another season for more of Adam and Persephone, but also with a storyline of Harry and Athena. Did you see the way he looked at her when she was seating herself and the younger sisters? I didn't even pick up on that one. I missed that one. Was that
but
was that intentional? The little look?
very, yeah. There's even another scene at the dinner table where I think it's right before um, Harry leaves for Hoyk, where he is asking Persephone about her family, and she brings up Athena and how Athena loves where they grew up. And as soon as I say her name, you can see Harry go,
Mm,
her, and it was all very intentional because the plan was always to try and make the whole series happen, the whole
yeah,
book series. And it's
yeah,
just a matter of time, investments, production companies. There's a lot of things happening behind the scenes constantly.
yeah.
So we see all those comments and we're like, boy, oh boy,
When
they're
you when you
working on
put
it
your
actively.
when you put your two filming timelines together, how long did it take to make Seeking Persephone?
It took just over a month, I believe,
Okay, okay,
to
that sounds
make
about.
a about 3 hour film that ended up becoming a 4 part miniseries.
Okay, so now I have to go back and watch just for Harry and Athena to figure out
Yeah,
to
you
see
do.
these
Yeah,
little
you
moments. I totally, when I was reading through the comments, I'm like, how did I miss that one? I think that's why people are
do.
rewatching. There's so much intentionality in this series, those little bitty moments.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I hope, just encourages you. There was a ton of comments that, and I think everybody's in a different place when they watch a movie, when they watch a series. This person, there was I shouldn't say this person. Many people were talking about how that this series has brought some healing and that there was even a big emotional impact. There was a lady, 81 years old. She said, Jake had mentioned in my interview, he goes, well, I hope it works. And she replied and said, he thinks it worked. Oh my gosh, it worked. Love this show. I'm 81. I'm newly widowed, and this story takes me back to when my husband and I connected. It's just beautiful, not to mention that Adam is a man's man. No wonder this series has gained such popularity. So, what's it like for you when you hear, somebody talking about that a story like this has brought healing to them and reminded them of a love that they had with their husband?
That's so sweet. Honestly, it's incredible to hear. I feel like it's been overwhelming just
Yeah.
hearing the amount of people that this resonates with. And I think because it resonated with each of us in a different way too. I
Yeah.
mean, from the get-go, the book has been beloved for so long. This world that Sarah created is truly just like, I think there's an aspect to being human that is just lonely sometimes and seeking connection with other people and not always receiving it and like trying again. And I think that's something we can all resonate with. Like one of the biggest things that came out of this character and this story for me, like that I didn't see in the beginning, but as we went on, that truly kind of hit home pretty hard was that like there's been times in my life where I have felt very lonely and very like discouraged or hopeless about I didn't see a way forward.
Yeah.
Um, and I think there are times throughout the movie where we really feel that.
Mhm.
And to have that journey be worked through and actively met with like acceptance or companionship or just like incrementally figuring each other out and not just giving up on things, I think is really a story of hope for a lot of people.
Has there been anything as you've seen the audience reaction that has really stood out to you that maybe surprised you in the comments or even the way that the audience has responded that I haven't mentioned?
Ooh, oh, that's a good question.
Have you seen all the crazy reels people are doing about seeking person?
I definitely have not seen all of them, but I've seen a fair amount, and they bring me so much joy. I wish I had more time in the day to like spend, interacting with people. I think Jake does a really good job of that, and it's something that I I want to do better
You're
with.
busy. You're busy right now. Remind everybody you are busy right now.
Life's been a little bit crazy, but in a really wonderful way. I feel like one of the biggest things that surprised me is just how eager people are for more,
Yeah.
and that they're wanting the story of Harry and Athena to come, and they're also wanting more Adam and Persephone, and it's just so flattering to hear that and to be like, like people like what I did. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's been really just touching because it was a story that was so near and dear to my heart that to have that reciprocated by other people is just really like it feels like one big community now where I just feel so grateful to be a part of it. You know?
There's so many people that I talk to that say, they go and they do a project and they just love to learn. And maybe they're watching the people on set and learning from them. I'm curious, did playing Persephone teach you anything?
So many things. Um, One of the big things I feel like I got better at on that set was it was very demanding emotionally to be there and to be this like title character that is in most of the scenes in this film and to feel the pressure of that and the weight of that and to know that there were these expectations and people like when people read a book they picture the character and what if I'm not that, like I was so worried. My hair was darker at the time, you can't really tell on the Zoom call, but I like made sure we lightened it so that it was more of a medium brown like it said in the books, and I was like my eyes aren't exactly color changing like they, and I had to like set aside all those things and just let it be.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped me uh, just sit with if this isn't for everyone, that's okay. I can let that perfection, that need for perfection go. And it also kind of forced me to have a little bit more stamina because I'm a very like introverted person. And I love my like oasis, my alone time.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's impossible on a set when you're on location and you're working and I think it really helped me, kind of like how theater helped me become less shy and come out of my shell. Doing film has helped me with my like social battery and making sure that I know how to take care of myself in moments where I have downtime, and then I go back out and you just have to stop thinking about yourself, you know. That was
Yeah.
another roundabout way of answering your question.
No, that's so good. And I mean, it's like this whole idea of getting out of your head and, just believing that the right people who are supposed to see it and appreciate the project. And well, you've pulled it off fantastically, by the way. So,
Thank you.
um, is there a behind the scenes memory from filming that still makes you smile?
It all makes me smile. Preparing for this interview, I was going through some of the pictures I had on my phone, just reliving. Um, Sarah and I have this funny joke where I think it started with, where did it start? She showed up before we filmed Seeking Persephone. I was in this show called A Christmas Carol because I still love doing theater and I do it when I can. And the whole team, before we started filming, showed up to this show. It was so fun. And she was wearing this shirt that said, I'm a part of the Ryann Bailey fan club with a picture of my face on it. And I thought it was so hilarious. And so I took a picture of her in that shirt and put it on another shirt and like sent it to her. And it's just kept going. And so I remember being at the castle taking this is such a, I'm doing a terrible job telling you this story. The script that I was given for Seeking Persephone had a picture of her on it wearing the t-shirt of her wearing the t-shirt of my face. So it was just mirrors and mirrors of, there's a lot of history to this script, the picture on the script. And I have a picture with the script that I've taken in front of Fallstone Castle that I then printed on another t-shirt and sent to her. And then she took a picture wearing that t-shirt and put it on a tote bag that I now have. I should show you at some point.
You need to.
Anyway,
What a fun memory. That
it's
is fun.
ridiculous. It truly is ridiculous. And it's one of my most treasured possessions to look at this, like the amount of love I think we
Yeah.
have for each other. It's just so like
Yeah.
wholesome and wonderful.
You have to keep it going when there's number two, right? You'll just have to
Oh,
keep
absolutely.
adding to it.
You
Yeah.
better believe it's gonna.
How fun is that? Okay, so I was looking on IMDb and there are some things that are saying post production, post production, post production.
Yeah.
What can you share? And then we'll talk about if there's anything you can hint at. Like, what can you share that we can be looking for that
Ooh.
stars Ryann Bailey?
You're so sweet. There's a lot of things in post production, and I think because post production's a beast and it just takes a long time to get it done. You gotta, color the film, do all the sound, do all the, special effects.
Yeah.
It goes through so many hands, and it just, it takes a while. One of the ones I think will resonate with the audience of people who love Seeking Persephone. I did this. It's more of a rom com than it is like a drama.
Okay.
Um, but it's called The Getaway. And if you've ever heard of the band The Strike, they have some
Okay.
really lovely music that has been licensed for this film. And it is a road trip uh, romantic comedy. And I play Mercy Lavinia Wilburn. I have escaped an underground cult. And it is one of the more zany characters I've ever played. And I am wearing this vintage wedding dress the whole film that just progressively gets dirtier and more ripped. And it's the way the character was described to me is like a Disney princess who's a mechanic, who like knows how to fix anything, but doesn't know anything about the real world. Like doesn't has no social skills, but can absolutely like get things done. Um, and it was one of the more wild and joyous films that I've done that I think is another very clean family film that is, I think, just going to be such a ride.
And then for those of you that like you jumped on when she started talking about the blood and the gore, you might have some more of those coming out as well.
One that's out that people can watch. It's a short film called The Meadow that I wrote and produced and acted in.
Nice.
That is about a mysterious girl who is keeping a boy locked in her cellar, and he doesn't remember why he's there. And it was an idea that I had had in my brain for a long time. And the house I was living in was 120 years old and had a dirt floor cellar. And I was like, well, surely I must do something with this really creepy cellar. Um, and it's a little spooky, but it is not like truly horror, like terrifying. It's more just like percolating in the mind. So if you get scared easily, like rest assured you won't have nightmares because of this film.
Okay.
And it was a very like low budget passion project that I did. But that's something that's out. It's on YouTube. It's called The Meadow with Ryann Bailey. That I think is a pretty easy search. But yeah, that's if you want a different flavor of.
You want to see Ryann in a whole new light. See
Sure.
all of the flavors of Ryann Bailey. Ryann,
Covered in dirt and grease.
is there a project that comes to mind that you're really proud of that is out right now that while people are waiting for number two, that they could go watch of yours?
Well, I mean, Persephone is one of the ones that I think I'm most proud of. I think to shout out another lovely film with this group was The Sheriffs of Savage Wells is a really fun uh, watch to kind of satiate that need for a season two while we're working behind the scenes. Um, I'm thinking through the one I'm working on now. I don't have all the information on when it will be and exactly where. I can't announce yet, but I think people will be really happy with the series I'm working on right now.
Some similarities between that one and Seeking Persephone.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I mean, we're going to be looking for that one. There's been things out there, there's been hints, but we're keeping it safe right now. We just know that Ryann is busy. So be looking for that, and hopefully we'll hear more when the time is right. Ryann, it has been so much fun talking with you. I wanted to, get your insight on it, but I also wanted to celebrate all of the amazing comments and the fan reaction with you. Hopefully it, made your day even brighter as well. But
Oh my gosh, it's
great
made my
job
whole
on such a
life.
wonderful project. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much for the lovely questions, for taking the time, and it's truly an honor. I kind of have no words for how grateful I am for how many people have expressed just so much like love and joy for this story.
Ryann mentioned the director, John. John and I are actually going to be talking at the beginning of August. He's currently doing a project right now, but we have that scheduled. So those of you that still want more Seeking Persephone,
It's coming.
be sure to pay attention for that in August. And Toby-Alexander Smith and I are scheduling right now. So if you want more Harry, that one will be coming as well. I want to let everybody know because when it first started, Seeking Persephone was just on Amazon Prime that you needed to purchase it and it was on Fandango. But since then, and I'm going to do US and then just throw in a little bit more. So you can now, if you have a Peacock subscription, you can watch it on Peacock. Angel Studios now has it, which means our Canadian friends can watch it as well if you've got an Angel subscription. It's on Roku channel, free with ads. Watch it. It's good. Just go fill up your
Yeah,
go fill up your coffee while the ads are on. If you've got
there
a
you go.
public library card, you can watch it on Hoopla. I learned that one. And then I think our UK friends can watch it if they've also got Prime, my understanding. So,
For
Passion,
real? I didn't know that.
well, that's what I have down, but
I
go
hope
check it
so.
out.
We've been trying, so
Yeah.
I hope so.
Passion Flicks is now has it.
Mhm.
And then of course Fandango that I mentioned earlier. And then for those of you that like live off of a VPN, you know who you are. There's always ways around things if you're in like New Zealand or Australia. So hopefully it'll
They're amazing.
continue to grow and grow, I imagine, as it can be spread to
Mhm.
more places in the world, it will get there. Ryann, again, it's been so lovely to talk to you, and maybe you'll come back when we can talk more about the other project.
I really hope so.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.